So Yunsub had a good segue on the ecosystem comments. I'm going to talk about ecosystem a little bit more generally. As this community continues to grow, we're double the size this year as we were last year at this event. There are some challenges on building ecosystems around technology like this, and I'm going to talk about that and then make some contributions to that ecosystem. So let's get started. When NXP joined a couple years ago, the RISC-V organization, we were really interested in helping drive corporate research as well as university research with this technology, and also to try to influence the roadmap. And as you heard earlier from the earlier speakers, there's a lot going on with participation in different standards groups, driving specifications to ratification. And we wanted to get involved in that. And so we joined a platinum member, and we've been participating ever since. And it's been obviously very successful. As the sole kind of software guy on the board, I take a very software-centric view of where we're going, and this ecosystem discussion is relevant because as we continue to grow, the ecosystem really can influence how efficient and how quickly we move forward. How do we facilitate a deep ecosystem? One is by participating. There are lots of opportunities in the organization to participate, to contribute, and I'm going to talk about some of those examples. So one area that we're looking for specific help is in driving new architectural as well as software innovations. You've seen some of that today and also from the speakers yesterday. There's some great talks that are also happening on very specific topics around innovation. A lot of this is driven by a growing ecosystem community. I want to just throw up a few caution signs, mainly from experience of many years of participating in various types of ecosystems. So what is an ecosystem not? We define an ecosystem as a set of actors, many that are in this room, interdependent, working together to innovate technology, right? But you have to be careful when we start building an ecosystem around RISC-V. For example, it's not just claiming or showing a bunch of logos, okay, on your marketing. Ecosystems are successful when people are contributing in ways that drive efficiency. For example, on the software side, the way to drive an ecosystem is by contributing and upstreaming software at an aggressive pace. Okay, when you don't upstream, that can lead to the F word, fragmentation. We talked about that a couple times already. So it's not just logos, it's people really contributing. Also, we want to be careful with all the hype that could evolve if we're not careful to pull in ecosystem, quote unquote, partners, but really make unrealizable promises. Good ecosystems have contributors that are knowledgeable, that are efficient at moving technology forward. And then finally, financial gain. An ecosystem isn't all about financial gain. Some of it, open source communities like Linux, it's more of a community type of an effort. So that's not all about, certainly everyone's got a business model, but ecosystems need to drive more than just financial motivation. Okay, so what we view an ecosystem as, and this is somewhat of a software semiconductor centric view, is really good technology that can be adopted by corporate as well as universities. So it's got community adoption, and it's technology that can be used in a broad set of areas, operating systems, middleware, et cetera, from a software-centric discussion. But so real technology, real partners driving forward for a broad set of actors. So you hear about this term fragmentation, and just to come back to this again, because I think if we're not careful, some of this will start happening, at least on the software side. Fragmentation happens when we are not community-oriented or centric. On the Linux side, it's been very successful because people have been aggressively upstreaming for over 1,300 different devices. Okay, it's been very successful. So we want to be careful not to cause too much fragmentation. Yunsa made some comments about all the upstreaming they're doing with their software. That's absolutely necessary for all of us to succeed and move forward with software. For sustainable growth, when we use this term ecosystem, we need to be careful about making sure that we're consistent across our technologies. One of the areas that has happened that has caused problems in the past with ecosystems, you first start to notice the problem in tools offerings. They start to fragment first. Just be aware of that. There's a lot of partners, a lot of tools partners that are here today that I think are recognizing that, and so we're working to make sure that our support for tools for RISC-V are being shared and upstream as necessary. And then even if I look at this internationally, RISC-V, we have to prevent other fragmentation, even in the ISA potentially. So there's a lot of work ongoing to make sure that we prevent this from happening. And I think we're at a place right now with RISC-V where we can address this now and prevent bigger investment later on to try to solve these problems. In the past, corporations and big investments have been thrown at the problem to try to fix fragmentation after it's happened and it's gotten too far down the road to address. We have a chance to fix that early or address it early so we don't have to fix it later on. To contribute to this ecosystem, we want to make a couple announcements. One is a community we want to form to pull in developers, contributors, openisa.org. This is going to be a forum for open source ISA enthusiasts. We're doing this primarily to expand the RISC-V ecosystem. We want it to be a portal for sharing ideas and experiences, to innovate, a discussion board. This is open now. You can pull this up and start browsing through this. We are pulling in partners already into this community, and we're contributing technology, both hardware and software, to this community as well. The booth outside, I think it's booth 303. You can find out a lot more about this and see some interesting demos. As part of this, also, we are announcing or contributing to this community, a Vega Board. This is a connected platform that we are going to offer to the community, make available to the community. Roughly, this is a microcontroller-based device with 2 RISC-V cores and 2 ARM cores in an application in wireless domain. We use the pulp technology, the Volpino technology from ETH Zurich in Bologna. So we have a RISC and a 0 RISC-E core on this device. It's got connectivity, it's got security, and it is a R&D development platform for enthusiasts. So this is not a product that we're going to sell. This is a development platform for the community that we're offering to this community, this RISC-V community here today. So this is now available. You can actually pick up one of these boards. We're calling this board the Vega Board. Vega may not be as cool as the Swerve name from Martin yesterday. We still like the name Vega, the 5th brightest star in the night sky. The Vega Board is available. We brought 700 of these boards here this week. The word got out yesterday. We've already given away about 200 of these. If you want one to start innovating, to start participating in this community, stop by booth 303. We'll give you one, and also a t-shirt. If you need any help, you'll see people dressed in these shirts like this. They're around here. They can also help you as well. This is our contribution to the community. We want to drive innovation in RISC-V, both in hardware and software, And so we're making this available to you. This Vega board supports a whole suite of software, a software stack, a full software development kit, middleware and communication stacks, wireless communication stacks, for example, BLE. It's got a connector, Arduino connector, so it can easily expandable. It's got a radio, like I mentioned, and a fair amount of memory. So it's a great development platform to innovate, and it is integrated into a nice software environment, tools environment as well. And in fact, if you go by the booth, you'll be able to see some of these demos today. I want to thank ETH Zurich and Bologna, specifically Professor Luca Benini, for all of his help in getting us to where we are with this open platform. He's been working on this technology for a number of years. It definitely took an open hardware approach. We leveraged the open source that Luca had when we built this development platform. They've also agreed to start using this Vega board in the spring for university courses, both to teach RISC-V and ARM courses. So we're really happy to be working with the university and Professor Benini, and we're really proud and happy that we're going to be using this in education starting in the spring. I also want to thank our partners who have been working with us over the last several months to provide some very good tooling support. This list of adopters is a nice combination of tools partners, software partners, and university partners, which is what an ecosystem really should be. Contributors that are actually in it for the good of the community. And so every one of these partners, Ashling, ETH Zurich, Express Logic, Foundries, IAR, Sager, I want to thank all of them for all the effort and contributions they made to making this development board a success. To give you an example of some of the software support by these partners, what I want to do is ask Tyler Baker, the CTO of Foundries.io, one of our software partners, to come up and just say a couple words about what they've done with the development platform from the software perspective, and then all of this, by the way, all these demos you can see out in booth 303.
Hi, I'm Tyler Baker, CEO of Foundries.io. We recently joined the RISC-V Foundation, so I'm excited to share this week with you. So as an early adopter, we kind of got challenged with porting the RISC cores to Zephyr in a few weeks. And so that was our goal. The good news was Sci5, Antmicro, Microsemi, and others had already put a lot of work into Zephyr. So there was a good base to start with when we started working with this. But the idea was we really want to build momentum around these upstream projects. And so when people pick up hardware like this, like the OpenISA Vega, they look at upstream projects and say, oh, okay, this is where I can start with. All the tooling there, the documentation's there, it's all in one place. It's a nice, clean experience for developers to start with. So our vision for RISC-V software is to make sure that we don't fragment and that we work with the communities and we run the latest software and we abide by best security practices in the industry. So what have we done? So we took the OpenISA Vega board, and we've taken an existing hardware peripheral, so it's a Cat1 LTE modem that we've used on other architectures. We've already built a Zephyr application that uses the lightweight machine-to-machine protocol, and we've integrated the platform support that we're upstreaming currently. There's patches on GitHub that are being reviewed right now to bring in the modem support so that we can talk to the internet with the RISC chip. We have this working at the booth. If you'd like to see the demo, please stop by. We're in the OpenISA booth. And we can use basically the cloud voice integration to send commands down to the device over the Cat1 network and turn on lights and read sensor data. So showing that this technology can really be used quickly, and we can develop connected devices that work today. And we can reuse a lot of our code that we've already developed. So what does Foundries do? We're building the future of connected devices. I know a lot of people say that, but really our vision is more or less like Sci5, but on the software side. So everybody's going to want to customize the platform. But what we believe in is that latest software is the most secure software. It's the best software we know how to make. But that's hard as a product company to be able to run the latest software. So we're building tooling around our platforms to allow you to make your customizations and move your software forward so that you can always run the latest if you need to and make sure you can deploy it over the air in a secure manner. So looking forward to spending the rest of the week with you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Tyler. So the Vega Board currently today supports FreeRTOS, Zephyr, AliOS, and RT-Thread already. So we've got a number of different development platforms already supported, and we're going to continue to work on that. We've also, again, other demos you'll see out there. I won't go through all of them, but we've got about 6 or 7 demos in the booth, including a smart lock application as well, where both bare metal as well as FreeRTOS demos available for you to go peruse at your leisure. All of this, by the way, is you'll find more information on the openisa.org website. You'll find links to the partners I just mentioned, so you can learn more about them, Git repositories for all of our software, the documentation, and a discussion board. And we would encourage, please, give us feedback. We did this as a contribution to drive the ecosystem forward. Please give us feedback so we can continue to work with you and support the evolution of this community, okay? Ecosystems are very important to efforts like this, and we want to learn from the past. What works, what doesn't work. There is definitely time right now to drive a very efficient ecosystem based on the lessons learned from the past, based on things like not forgetting to upstream software aggressively to the community. If we do these things now, I believe that the efficiency will improve significantly. We'll avoid some of the investment, some of the pain that has existed in the past when we've ignored things like this. We're trying to help facilitate a deep ecosystem, and with our Vega board, we believe that all of us can innovate. Please pick up a board. They're free until we run out of the 700. After that, you can still get one online. It may cost a little bit of money just for the make cost. We're not trying to make any profit, but and you'll get free shipping, by the way. It's Christmas season. We have to keep up with Amazon, free shipping, so you get free shipping. So anyway, please have an opportunity to check out the booth, pick up a board, go innovate, give us your feedback. Thank you very much.